a hoodie with the Crossroads logo, so that means that it's time for our conference. I mean, it is in October 29th and 30th. I'll say it multiple times from now on till the date, but if you haven't saved the date, we still have the very early bird sale, so maybe you want to go and check out the website. The reason why we still have it is because we haven't announced the location, we haven't announced the speaker. So if you really want to trust us, now is the time to get and secure your ticket. I guarantee it will be an amazing event. Um, and because you trust us, now you're getting this bonus on getting a very low price for the ticket. As we start announcing the very special guest that we'll be inviting and bringing over from the whole world, actually, things might start changing. So go to Startup Bulgaria or startupcrossroads.com and check what we have there for you. So today we have a very special guest. Costa is here from Bodyguard, more or less a year after we invited him for the first time. And we're going to hear how this thing developed. They did a crowdfunding campaign. It was very successful. And now we'll see what happens after you fundraised from the society, kind of, right? Before we go there, very important, very special message. It's our third birthday. What do I mean? 3 years ago, exactly 3 years ago, we announced that there will be a conference. I still remember the times we said there will be a conference. I shared the idea with some intelligent, very brave, very motivated people who said, yeah, let's do it. We started calling different people, different institutions, accelerators, companies, entrepreneurs. As always, as you would do with any other business, half of them were highly excited and said, whatever you're doing, we're in. There was also the skepticism, right? There were people saying, well, there is not that many entrepreneurs in Bulgaria. You'll never find that people. They will never come, and so on. Both things were encouraging, right? Everyone who said, yeah, let's do it, we are totally on your side, was, of course, rewarding and really nice to hear. But also what motivated us was also everyone who said, there is no way you can do that. That actually gave us a lot of power and a lot of munition to keep going, to keep connecting. We went to different cities. We were in Russe, we were in Varna, we were in Stara Zagora. Everywhere we would meet the entrepreneurial community. We would explain why we are doing a conference, why is it important for everyone to be there. And eventually we made it happen. It happened, the first year was November 7th, 8th, and 9th. I guess I always remember these dates. Last year, we did National Palace of Culture. That was, again, amazing. 2 days and a half with a hackathon and so on. So I know, or actually everyone that works on a startup knows how intense it can get and how chaotic it can get every day. So sometimes we tend to forget how much we achieved over these years. That's why, for example, we do this kind of reminders. If you look back, we managed to get 6,000 attendees over the years so far. So whenever there was Crossroads, there was a scale-up edition, there was the first event, the second big event, we managed to get 6,000 of you under one roof to network, to get inspiration, to connect. We got participation from 15 countries. More than 15 countries came to the conference, especially last year, because our main focus was to make the event regional. We got 43 different funds. We had investors from Singapore, we had investors from Germany, from the UK, from the US. Everyone was flying in order to meet the startups, to see what's there on the market and to see if they're worth an investment. And one thing I tend to underestimate, but eventually we got the National Palace of Culture of Bulgaria, which is the most monumental building, and we filled it with entrepreneurs. This year we have a even more special thing that I cannot announce yet, but I just promise you that every year it will be more and more spectacular what we will be doing. So next year is coming, and this year we have the ambitious objective to get 5,000 of you together so that we can network, we can get to know each other, and we can learn from each other. One more thing to look. This is our impact report. We published it on the website. You can see what we managed to achieve last year. And like I said, for me, this is just the basis for what we need to do this year. This year, we need to be even more ambitious. Now is the time to do a startup. For everyone who is following what happens with the European Union, we just launched the 28 regime that makes it even easier to have one company that operates in entire Europe. For everyone who is wondering what will happen with AI and so on, maybe you heard about some companies laying off, some companies using more and more AI. So eventually just think, whatever you're doing now, just think what's the future of your job, and just think if you wouldn't like to know a little bit more about how to launch your own business and to scale it globally, just in case one day you need to, right? So maybe you want to think about that. And like I said, what we will do on our side, we promise that it will be very useful, that you will meet brilliant people from the whole world, that you will meet investors, that you will meet like minded entrepreneurs, and you will hear speakers who will be talking about the future of education, the future of AI, how to scale a product globally, because it's one thing to build it, and then the other thing is to get the airplane, go to Germany and get some customers there, and then to France, and then to the UK, and so on. So we're going to get experts on that, and they're going to teach us how to do it. And of course, a lot of AI. How do we use AI for marketing? How do we use AI for sales? How do we use AI for planning, production, strategy, and everything else? Because these are the topics that each of us needs to know so that we can stay relevant and eventually win in the business or startup competition. Now, a person who is on the way to winning, Costa, very happy to have you here again. I don't know if you can hear us, right?
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Thank you for the invitation.
Right. Thank you for finding the time, because I imagine you're very busy. So, um, for those people who still don't know you, can you tell us quickly what is Bodyguard and what problem are you solving?
Yep, absolutely. So, Bodyguard is a pet care marketplace which aims to connect pet owners with reliable and trustworthy pet sitters.
Great.
What we do, yeah, I can speak a little bit more so that I
Yeah.
can go into details. So, the main thing which we do in our platform is to train and give certificates to specific people who would like to take care of cats, dogs, or whatever animal the pet owner has. So it's on a mobile application, and it's running in Bulgaria and in Malta up to date.
Great choice of locations. I mean, Bulgaria is kind of intuitive, I guess, but why Malta? What was the reason to start operating in Malta?
Well, when I start talking about the crowdfunding, I'll go into details.
Okay, got it. Crowdfunding. Crowdfunding is the next thing, and I really appreciate your trust last year, because I remember you were running a crowdfunding campaign, and then we said, "Hey, come to Crossroads, let's do it together." It will be the National Palace of Culture, and there will be people like investors, entrepreneurs, and so on. So it sounds like a good place to run a crowdfunding campaign. And eventually, I think that's the first, or at least the first I know of, crowdfunding campaign in Bulgaria where a startup was fundraising. So can you tell us, first of all, why did you decide to do crowdfunding?
Yeah, I'll go a little bit back to the time when we initially wanted to start raising capital, because as you know, most of the startups, they want to obtain capital and funding even before their idea goes to traction. So in 2025, in the beginning of 2025, we already had more than 3,000 paying customers. We had more than 300 pet sitters who used the platform, but we didn't have the money in order to scale the company not only abroad but also gain a little bit more platform improvements. So what we did, we tried to find a VC who can back us up. But back in the days, there weren't any VCs in Bulgaria who were able to support us because they didn't have enough funds. The angel investors were likely an option, but we were looking to raise 250,000 euro. So I had a talk with Ivailo Ivanov from Founder Institute, and since I'm a graduate from the Founder Institute, he told me, "Why don't you crowdfund?" And I was like, "All right, I will. But what is crowdfunding? What should I do? Where can I apply?" So crowdfunding is giving the ability for every person to receive a specific amount of your company with investments as little as 125 euro. So we went through this path, and eventually we made it. So if you want, I can go into details now, or maybe you can ask me specific questions.
Well, I mean, it sounds like a bold move, right? Because eventually, I mean, it's one thing to convince one investor to believe in you, and it's another thing to invest. I mean, I don't know how many people do you have, like kind of the number. What? How many people actually invest?
Yeah,
Like dozens
36.
or hundreds or
36 people.
36 people. So eventually, you had to convince 36 people to to invest, right? Which
Yeah.
eventually, I think, for everyone who is a little bit worried about their span of control, kind of like how much will they have a say in the company, like when you hear that there will be 35 more giving potentially advice or at least owning the company, co-owning with you, maybe that's scary. So I mean, I understand the reason, but like kind of maybe what were the main challenges with this, like finding 36 people that want to invest in you?
Yeah, so we had a goal to reach 250,000 euro in order to continue growing the company. So it didn't really matter if those people will be 15, 25, or 40, because what we did, we created a secondary company which collides all of these people into one entity. And this entity afterwards became a shareholder in the mother company. If
Mm-hmm.
I hope that you understand me. So
Yeah.
we chose one of those investors to be something like the CEO of this mother company, so that he can come and talk with us when it comes to really important business decisions. So all these people, like, interesting fact, 50% of the people who invested in us are actually pet sitters and pet owners who are platform users and believe in what we do. So they supported us through this as well. And a really important thing throughout the competition and throughout the Crossroads networking event, before that, we had gathered around 55,000 euro from the 250,000 target, and we were already going 4 months into the crowdfunding campaign. And I was a little bit worried. It was already September, and we had to end it until the end of September. And when you contacted me, I was like, yeah, I think that this is like the Eminem song, you only got one chance, do not miss your chance to blow. So what I did, I was like, all in. I went to 3 pitching events throughout the networking events. 2 of them were organized by you and the team, and one of them was organized by the Bulgarian Angels Club. So
Yeah.
throughout the 3 events, I was able to not only pitch and go to the finals, but I gathered 160,000 euro
Wow.
from these 3 pitching events, because
Amazing.
there were hundreds of people who saw me, and we even found an angel investor who invested in us 100,000 euro. So thank you
Amazing.
for that.
Well, I mean, welcome, right? Like that's why we organized this thing, because I know that, especially with your case, you had paying customers. It is a good idea. Most people actually, as you said, like people that are actually on the platform wanted to invest in you because they believe. I think what generally the business was lacking was this observability, so that everyone knows about it and everyone understands that your team is a great team, and if they trust them, they can actually build something great, right? And that's why we keep doing this generally the conference and all the initiatives around it throughout the whole year, and we'll keep doing it. So this is, I mean, thank you for the nice words. I'm happy that we finally can also show some, let's say, material impact out of the conference that goes beyond knowledge, beyond friendship, beyond connections. It's we actually go into fundraising, right? So this is amazing. Now, I mean, I can imagine like going from 50K to 250K during an event. It's like it's an amazing achievement, and I think it also requires a lot of skill to kind of know how to sell the vision for the platform, what you're doing yourself in the first place. I'm wondering now that you raised the money, right? Because the main idea was you wanted to raise, you wanted to scale the business, you wanted to grow in a different country. So what happens now that you raised?
Well, upon our conversations with the investors, most of the people usually want to know what we'll use the funds for. So the main thing which we did the past 4 months was to really invest in the platform itself, so that it can be scalable enough to go not only in 1 or 2 countries per year, but to go into 4 or 5 countries, because the main thing which we provide as a unique selling point is the easiness and the trust which you can receive using the Bodyguard platform. Because when you go in an app and you see that they have insurance coverage covering up to 15,000 euro, they have specific certificates based on the experience which they have in regards to pet sitting, and all these things are really crucial so that we can take a bigger market share of the specific countries where we go. So this was the main thing which we were investing. Um, we hired 2 more developers so that they can work with us, and we have a person who is already operating and working in Malta so that he can help the customers and also the pet sitters there.
Nice. And why Malta? Why Malta? Like, I mean, because it's sunny and nice, or what was the main reason?
At first, when we started crowdfunding, because we were using one Hungarian crowdfunding company, they had an office in Malta, and they invited me to pitch in front of investors in Malta, and it was the 31st of March. And I was like, all right, I haven't been to Malta. Maybe it's gonna be cool. Maybe I'll find interesting people. And in the 3 days which I was there, I saw so many people who desperately wanted to have a platform like ours there because they have pets. They are they're living in Malta because they have work there, but they don't go with their families. They take their cat or a dog so that they're not feeling lonely. But when they want to go back to their origin country, they don't pick them, and they don't have to. And they have to find a reliable sitter. So I was like, all right, you have the platform there in the next 3 months. So that's why we chose Malta, and also it's really a good country where we can test all the things which we have done here in Bulgaria, because the market is quite small and the people they know English. We didn't have to translate in another country in another language, and also they're using euro as we do here in Bulgaria. This was the main thing.
Nice. Okay, and now I'm out of curiosity, right? Because now you're operating on 2 different markets, and I mean, I know that many of the founders that we meet every year at the conference always have the problem of how do I go abroad? How do I start abroad? So, comparing the Malta market to the Bulgarian market, do you see any differences, difficulties, something you had to approach in a different way than you did in Bulgaria?
Well, as much as I really like to say that Bulgarian pet owners are maybe the hardest people, which you have to, I don't know, to battle, or I don't know the specific word, to show them that your platform is really trustworthy and reliable. Because when we went to Malta, I didn't receive any questions in regards to whether the people were safe, if they have contracts or all of this stuff. But when I talked with people in Bulgaria during conferences, they're like, well, I don't know that person. How am I going to give him my keys to my apartment? They're gonna take my TV and stuff like that. I didn't receive this question anywhere else. So I think that Bulgaria will be our hardest market, and that's why
Okay.
we really want to scale as fast as possible.
Nice. So are you saying that we actually advise everyone to start selling abroad because somehow abroad is easier?
Well, I'm advising to look all around Europe, because even though we have specific cultural differences, uh, as you said previously in the beginning of our conversation, with our company already created in Bulgaria, we can operate all over in the European Union. So don't wait for a couple of years to create an MVP and start operating in one country. Move as fast as possible, because while we are talking about Bodyguard right now, maybe other people in, uh, let's say, Austria or the Czech Republic are already creating a platform as ours. So move fast if you want to grow fast.
Got it. Very good advice. And I'm wondering because I mean, it sounds like a very great story, right? Like you went to a conference, you fundraise, now you're starting, or like you're already successful in the second country. Are there any downsides to the fundraising and to the crowdfunding? Would you let me ask you like that? Would you do it again?
uh, in our next chapter, in our next funding round, I won't crowdfund, because the good I'll start with the bad thing. The bad thing was, if I have those 36 investors, I talked with maybe around 250 to 300 people who wanted to become part of Bodyguard, but eventually they didn't invest. And this is a lot of effort and time, which I really had to deep dive in conversations for maybe sometimes for hours, so that I can convince them that the investment which they make is crucial and is really important, and will have uh, a really big impact, not for the company itself, but also for the whole field in pet care. So this was the most crucial thing, and it really started to get easier when we received the biggest check of 100,000 euro, because when we announced that we have this, more and more people started coming in because they saw that a big shark validated our business model and made the due diligence, and they were like, all right, I want to invest also. But then I made a hard stop, because my point is not to sell out the company in the first phase, but to have enough budget to continue growing it until our next phase.
Got it. Okay. And when you say in the next round, most probably you want to do it. So what is the plan for the future? How are you are you fundraising anytime soon? How are you going to do it?
If
Or
we
that's too
if we
early in
will
the strategy?
fundraise, if we will fundraise, I'll definitely let you know. But
Okay.
in the near time, we won't fundraise, because, as I said, we were bootstrapping until 2025, and we really appreciate every euro which we received. So we're going clean. We have enough also revenue on a monthly basis through our customers. So I think that in the time being, we're absolutely fine, and we'll see what the time will show. But yeah, until the end of the year, we'll be investing quite a lot in marketing, because after we made the platform good enough, then the next step is to make it as popular as possible. So yeah.
Got it. And talking about making it popular, can we explain to the people how can they use Bodyguard? What should I do if I have a I mean, for who is it suitable first? Should I have a dog, a cat? What should I have so that I can use the platform?
It's suitable for more than 50% of the households in Bulgaria. So if you have a dog, a cat, a parrot, a fish, or whatever pet you have, you can
Like
easily
snake
download the
and
mobile.
other reptiles, do you
Yeah,
do that as well? Spiders? Okay.
we have pet sitters for everything. Especially, we had one situation with a person who contacted us. He has 3 horses and sheep as well in the countryside. So he was like, I really want to go to my first vacation in 5 years. Can you help me
Wow.
with that? So we even helped that guy. So yeah, guys, if you have any pet, or if you, by the way, if you want to have a pet in the near future, but you're struggling to find a person who will be helping you in the future, you can always contact us. We also have subscription based models where you can um, pay on a monthly basis for a couple of dog walks or cat visits. So we have all sorts of things which we are also looking to introduce in the upcoming months. So yeah, that's it
The-
from me.
one idea, and maybe you have that. Do you have corporate subscriptions so that the employees
Yes,
can use? Okay.
we introduced that to a couple of enterprise clients, so they use it as a social benefit.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking, that it could be a great social benefit. Nice. Okay, and what should I do? So if I want to join, what I go to the platform and I just register, or how does it work?
Yeah, currently we have a mobile application and a website, bodyguard.bg.
Yeah.
If you want to use the platform, you register. If you want to be a pet sitter and earn extra income, you have an application on the top right, and we'll be happy to onboard you as part of our team.
Okay, nice, nice. Okay, and they are like I just register, and then I guess you test me something, and then I'll start getting some jobs. Or
Yeah, well, it's a little bit more difficult. You have to go
yeah,
through a KYC check, which we have. We gather personal data so that the pet owners are feeling comfortable with using the platform, because after all, we have to know the person on their site. And yeah, we have a couple of tests which you have to go through, but um, everything else is really straightforward. And once you go through this, you can start earning income in a matter of minutes, because there is a lot of demand.
Yeah.
So right now we're mainly concentrated in finding pet sitters who want to work this.
Yeah, and the steps you mentioned, they are logical, right? Of course, you need to do KYC, and of course, you need to get some agree to some instructions and so on, right? Otherwise, I mean, after all, you're building a high quality service, so it's clear that people have to go through some hassle. I mean, for everyone opening a
Th-
bank account, we know what it is, right?
Yeah,
Like,
that's the main difference between us and the other platforms, because our main goal is to provide security and safety. Because as I mentioned before, that if I'm a pet owner and I don't know if that person has a contract with the company, or if he has any insurance or experience, then during my holiday, I'll be constantly thinking about what's happening with my pet and the apartment. So this was the main reason why we invested so much in the quality of the pet sitters. And of course, from all the pet sitters who are actually applying, maybe 15 to 20% are actually providing the services through our platform, which is a really high bar for most of the people. But once you go there, you can have as much as really good income, and some people are even leaving their jobs so that they can make
wow,
2 or 3 walks per day, so that they can use their free time.
nice. Yeah, so that they can earn money while they do something they love potentially, right?
Well, yeah, you can easily make around 1,500 euro per month.
Okay, sounds good. I mean, I don't know if I shouldn't be switching jobs now. Now that you say that. Great, great, Costa. Anything else that we need to know about Bodyguard? Or, I mean, one thing is sure, we'll meet you at the conference this year. Who knows? Maybe you'll be fundraising by then. Uh, but either way, I think
Well,
more people need to hear about your story, about your strategy, expansion, and all the courage of the team, right, for doing that.
uh, uh, we'll have a really drastic change. We're currently rebranding, so we'll have a brand new logo, brand new colors, and the website will be completely different. So we're starting a campaign in regards to the rebranding in a couple of days. So we can keep in touch, and we can even make another announcement really soon in regards to the whole Bodyguard reshape.
Okay, I think we should. I think we should. Great. Okay, thank you very much, Costa. Really, once again, thank you for the trust. One of the first material results coming out from the conference, so I'm very, very happy that we had you there, that you trusted us with the entire team. By the way, you just mentioned it in the meantime, so maybe people didn't pay attention, but eventually you were in the finals of the Startup World Cup. The Startup World Cup, I mean, there were also advanced teams earning more than 1 million in revenues, right? And you were on the same stage because of the same
Yeah.
quality and potential of the startup that you're building. This year, we're going to have the Startup World Cup again. We are going to send the winner to San Francisco. They're going to pitch for 1 million. So anyone watching who wants to apply, please apply, because eventually I think it's a great opportunity. We're going to have even more exciting opportunities next to it. They will be part of the same competition, but we're going to announce them a little bit later throughout the year. So stay tuned. But thank you once again, Costa, and
Thank you, Ogi. Happy
looking
to see you
forward
soon
to see the
again.
new branding. So
Yeah.
great. Okay, and now a couple of statements or announcements that we have. Like I said, save the date, 29th and 30th of October. This time we have chosen Thursday and Friday because we want people to have their weekend free, right? Like we started the first year, we were Friday, Saturday, Sunday. I will never forget the people completely tired and exhausted out of 3 days of conference, but still there and thirsty for knowledge and connections and so on. So slowly we're moving it throughout the week so that you can really have the time for yourself, or ideally after being very impressed and very inspired from everything that happened at the conference, you have the time to stay the weekend maybe at home and really build the product and launch the venture you want to launch, right? Next thing, as we said several times, we now offer fundraising services. On our website, you can find additional information. Eventually, what we are going to do is we are going to provide consultations to everyone who wants to fundraise. We're going to point them to the right investors. We can always help shaping your pitch to the investors, and we can also make the introductions and accompany you in some of the meetings. Eventually, the main objective here is that you're more successful in what you do. We've been doing it actually now in the background for some of the startups, and it turns more and more successful every time, and now we start offering it as a service. So you can use the social media that you're watching right now, or you can write us at info@startupbulgaria.eu and just connect with us. We're going to discuss with you, and then we're going to discuss how we can help you, right? In case you're fundraising or planning to fundraise soon, because most of the time these things need to be planned. Right. So these are all the exciting messages. Very soon, like we just relaunched our webinar series. So there will be many more till the time of the conference. Once again, for those of you who missed it, 29 and 30th. Like I said, there is almost nothing known right now. And that's why we're still at a very, nothing known to you, right? Like we kind of know everything. We know the speakers, we know the topics, we know location and everything, but we'll be giving them out a little bit later throughout the year. So that's why for those of you who trust us and know that they have to be there already now, right now, if you would go to the website, you can see that we have very low prices of the tickets as a very early bird. And like I said, as we start announcing more and more of the formats, the prices, the guests, and so on, prices will be going up again, because as I've said multiple times, the earlier you know how many people we'll have, the better we can plan. The later it gets to the date, apparently it's a little bit more difficult. So thank you very much, everyone. Like I said, very happy to reconnect this year. The season is starting. So far, we were working very hard on the conference, but mainly in the background. From now on, you'll be hearing and seeing more from us all the time. And once again, thank you very much to everyone. We highly appreciate, and we are fully aware that all of this could happen only because of each and every one of you. For all the trust, for all the sponsorships, for all the participation, for all the guests, all the people flying from abroad, taking a plane, people that came to the conference the first year just as a spectator, and then the second year they returned as the CEO of a company. We highly appreciate that. We follow your stories, and we're more than happy to continue supporting, continue giving you the visibility that you deserve so that you can all launch very successful ventures, and so that we can turn Bulgaria, in that case also Sofia, into the Silicon Valley of Europe. Thank you very much, everyone, and I'll see you very soon in our next webinar.